Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel, and today we're gonna talk about relics. And with no exaggeration, this is the scariest, potentially game-breaking, game-ending thing that we had announced, well, perhaps since the release of Six Stars or since the release of the game ever. Right, first let's read the text that we got given in the dev diary, and then I will give a bit more context to it, historical examples, and we're going to discuss the implications of it. So, Relics 2021. Power. The Great Divider. Power is what we all seek in this contest of champions. And in 2021, we aim to grow that power. Relics are coming. Relics are all new cores of power that provide individual champions with the ability to apply custom buffs to their kits. Individual relics act as vessels for a collection of new buffs with a host of unique abilities tied to each one. For the first time, you'll be able to apply collectible mastery-like buffs to an individual champion. Summoners will initially find relics in the new solo competitive mode before being slowly rolled out as rewards across other game modes in the game. At launch, you'll be able to use your relics and their power in solo competitive and few other modes content before we roll it across the entire game after launch. Content relics, unique objects with different slots that offer new power and mastery like buffs to individual champions, customize your MCOC. Upgrade relics to house more buffs and allow higher quality buffs to be equipped. Discover more powerful buffs and create the perfect relic build to your favorite individual champions. Science Strikers, we're going to leave that for now because the most important bit is the relics and the description here. So, what are relics really? Because this is a fairly vague description, and to best characterize relics, uh, it's just another form of gear system. What it is weapons or any other extra collectibles that have rarities that you can upgrade to assign different champions. Now they draw comparisons here with like mastery, like buffs to individual champions, and that can be brutal. That can be game saving or breaking, or it can be relatively neutral pending how they release it. But make no mistake, you should be cautious and you should be worried because it's Kabam we're talking about. As a comparison, as an example, Marvel Realm of Champions notoriously have one of the worst gear system, relic system ever introduced by anyone because it's purely RNG dependent, costs insane amount of money to let you be competitive, has no organization in it, and again is extremely RNG based, which makes it stupidly expensive to get relatively decently guaranteed results. Effectively, you can kind of look at it as hunting Six Stars from Qualia crystals, because that's how it works. You need to get the relics that you want, and then you need to hope that the right buffs get like popped in because they are also somehow RNG based. But in general, in most of the games, relics are your weapons, your boots, your armor, your shields, your helmets, your gloves, whatever. And then there are different rarities, different sets. They're intended for different champions. They can be equipped with different buffs and so on and so forth. What does it mean for MCOC? Well, it means effectively the only reason why you're not hearing every single content creator scream about it right now, besides the fact that most of them are in fact in CCP, is the fact that it could potentially be a salvaging aspect from 7 stars. Without relics, it is all but guaranteed that 7 stars would be coming relatively soon. With relics, it is very possible that 7 stars do not see this game for a really long time. And here is basically the choice that you kind of have to make in your mind. I personally prefer the evil that I know over the evil that I don't. And relics is something Kabam has tried to introduce in Marvel Concept Champions at least on 3 different occasions. I know and have spoken with people who were invited to Kabam HQ very, very early on in game's development to test out the new gear system. And that did not please anyone. So they cancelled. Then gears were mentioned several years later. And then we had a huge, huge community outrage. A result of that, gear system got scrapped, but 6-star acceleration to the contest got introduced, and nobody liked redoing their entire roster. Again, on a personal note, I am quite confident I'd rather personally deal with a new star level and reassemble my roster, because I know I'll be playing this game actively, over something that can potentially be monetized beyond belief. Now, make no mistake, this relic system will 100% be monetized. Again, we do not know exactly how it is going to look like in Model Concept Champions, but I can give you a relatively understandable example. Now, imagine if masteries were individual relics. And imagine if, I don't know, Mystic Dispersion would be a relic that, let's say, costs $100 or $200 or whatever. And then imagine Symbiote Supreme as an, let's say, only champion who can unlock that relic. You can get Symbiote Supreme, you can dupe Symbiote Supreme, but you can't use Symbiote Supreme until you actually equip that relic. So basically, it effectively unlocks kind of like a second or third awakened ability that you have to get in many cases. In some cases, obviously, just like awakened abilities, they might be underwhelming and not necessary. But in plenty of cases, it will be a point where you might have the champion awakened and ranked up, but it is significantly handicapped and tied with one hand behind their back if you do not have appropriate relic. And again, it is very likely that relics will eventually be starting to appear in special arenas, for example, or as rewards for game, for objectives and quests and stuff like that. But believe you me, 120% that these relics will get monetized through their teeth. Kabam is 100% milking a ton of cash with that. And again, the way it influences Model Concept Champions obviously cannot be really guessed by me right now. Kabam is very careful with the power of relics. If they conservatively assign power to these relics, if they do not monetize it as much as they have progression possible through Cavalier crystals, it could work. It could potentially be the best thing for Model Concept Champions, or it could potentially be just like, A-OK, another thing that hardly matters, like incursions, I don't know. Or it could potentially break the game. Now, I am not trying to kind of fearmonger here or make everybody panic, but given Kabam's track record with relics, in particular in Marvel Realm Champions, given everything that I personally know about the gaming company, as soon as I read relics coming in 2021, my mind did go in panic mode, and I am more than likely gonna try and open a second channel that has nothing to do with this game. I'm not entirely decided where it's going to be headed and what exactly it is going to be, but I will automatically want to have a plan B in case shit hits the fan, because there is a very good likelihood that it could and that it will. And Karina's challenges were a perfect distraction for me, and maybe part of the reason why I threw myself into Karina's challenges was this relic system, because I'm extremely uneasy with the way it works. Chances are it is going to become a whole lot more difficult to be free-to-play player in this game. Chances are the game is going to change beyond its belief. But we have to wait and see through that. But another aspect that I definitely do want to mention is how this time, for the first time ever, we have a community that's okay with it. And that is a very interesting point to discuss. Because every single time before that, every single content creator were immediately opposed to that. Now, I personally can only see two reasons why the attitude towards relics has shifted. Number one, and probably the biggest one, is the realization that it can potentially push back 7 stars. Because if relic system grows into an extensive cash cow for Kabam, they can afford not to release 7 stars. They can afford to keep 6 stars at rank 4 and rank 5 level. And even when you're gonna have 20 or 30 rank 5, 6 stars, if relics are the new hot thing, if getting the champion becomes secondary to having right relic for the champion, they do not necessarily have the need to infinitely keep inflating the star numbers and increasing their power levels, because they will be doing that by these relics. And again, just like acquisition of 6 stars, and especially initially, this entire thing, this entire process entirely hangs in the details. How hard will these relics be to earn? How expensive will these relics be? How big of an impact they will have on the game? There are right now million questions that are going through my head, and I'm panicking. But as I said before, it's surprising that I haven't really seen many comments on relics. And again, whether it is because people are attached to their 6-star rosters, do not want to assemble 7-star rosters, and do not want to go through that entire process again, or it is quite simply because of affiliation with Kabam, because CCP has never in the previous times had been as extensive. I do not know, and can't comment with any reasonable degree of certainty. But I can share my personal feelings. And I'm shitting it, because none of it's with a good precedent based in different Kabam games or based in past. Relics have always been planned for this game. Kabam promised not to introduce gear system for ever or really long time, but a really long time seemingly has passed, and I do not know. It definitely has a potential to destroy this game, or perhaps save it. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know whether you want to hear more videos discussing relics, comparing them with different games, and kind of predicting how they will count this game. And most importantly, let me know what you think. Are you excited, or are you terrified? That is it for today. And I'm gonna catch you guys soon. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the